gonna be a night of frights and fights here in Gales Ferry, Connecticut, as OWR presents WrestleVania. I am the Zoe, Zachary Levaye, and unfortunately, Alex Aceta could not be here with me tonight, but thankfully we have a great replacement in Bell to Bell's own, the one, the only, the lovely Savannah Kane. Savannah, thank you for being back here in OWR with us.
You know, that 8-hour drive from Virginia up here is worth it. We have a lot of hard-hitting action tonight as we see, starting off, Ken Powers against Ramon Estrada. Powers already taking control of this match.
You could say hard-hitting again when it comes to Ken Powers. And this is certainly going to be down to the nitty-gritty. This is our first of two matches that feature an OWR talent against one from the USWA, a promotion we are now in partnership with that started with our Provision State Women's Championship Tournament. We will see action in that tournament later on tonight. But right now, Ramon Estrada trying to take it to Genesis's Ken Power, taking away the vertical base with kicks to the leg.
Seems like Powers is really underestimating Estrada as he has Estrada in the corner. Nice chop by Estrada.
Howling like the low wolf he is, and he's got the strikes to match. But Ken Powers, when you get caught in that grip, it's a rough night.
See, nice elbow strikes by Estrada. Trying to get Powers off of his feet. Nice drop kick by Estrada, sending him into the corner.
Doing what he can to avoid those powerful shots from powerful Ken Powers. Has to use his agility here to his advantage. But Ken Powers has him trapped up. Might have spoke too soon there. Takes an elbow to the jaw.
It was somebody as big as Powers. You're right, agility. That's something Estrada has to. The body slam.
Absolutely effortless was that gut-wrench slam from Ken Powers, making it look easy in there like he has been for months and months here in OWR. He has championship goals, specifically the Ground Zero title held by PJ Savage in his sights, especially now with Genesis also holding the tag team championships. So he would love to make multiple statements here with a victory in our opening contest. Telling me to shush so we could hear the echoing of that chop in the corner.
And we see Powers moving Estrada to the other side, delivering another. Oh! Nice slingshot to the cover.
And referee Bill, one of the best in the biz, a stand-up official, always exactly where he needs to be. But Ken Powers is exactly where he wants to be right now, on top of Ramon Estrada, who's trying to fight his way back up, but once again, clubbed back down.
Powers pulling all the stops as we see Estrada
pulling out all the stops, launching Ramon Estrada. This is a rough night right now for Ramon Estrada. Came all the way here from Philadelphia, representing the USWA.
Estrada still has that gas in the tank, fighting back. Delivering blows.
The lone wolf, though, does have to be wary. You never know where Genesis could strike, but sometimes it doesn't matter when you get struck like that by Ken Powers into the cover, but only a 2 count.
See, Estrada still in this.
I don't know how much more power you could put into those blows, Ken. You can already see how red the back of Ramon Estrada is getting from the beating being put on by Ken Powers here.
Yeah, we're pretty far back. It's pretty red. Estrada firing back.
Now bringing Ramon back up. Ken Powers maybe looking to put this away, but look at this! Crafty! Sunset flips over, but again, Ken, that base is too much! And it all came crashing down! Now a crucifix by Ramon, looking to take the win! No! That would have been huge for him, representing the USWA, beating one of the most consistently great talents in OWR, but Ken Powers continuing to keep this exactly where he wants it, bringing it back to the center, and now, no nonsense, ground and pound.
Yes, delivering blows. you can see the crowd is not feeling that at all.
And you would think with the gear that Ken has on, Dragon Ball Z inspired, you'd think he'd be getting into the spirit, having a good time. But he is summoning the chi and bringing on the pain right now, trying to siphon the energy out of Ramon Estrada so he can no longer fight back.
Obviously, Powers taking Estrada to the ground. Estrada gasping for air.
And you know how Genesis rolls, they got that social influence. They want to make sure that the camera can see exactly what they're doing. But the camera just saw that stunner from Ramon Estrada creating separation.
See Estrada trying to gain composure.
With the limited experience he has, he's making the most of it right now, able to avoid that shoulder in the corner.
That's enough for Estrada to capitalize. We see him going to the top rope.
Has Ken dazed from that ring post. Now it's sent into the middle. Goaded him in. Catches him with a boot. And look at that! Flies through with the crossbody, but has enough damage been done? No! Floats into the cover!
Oh, so close.
That would have been a huge upset right there, but not to be right yet. But the moon may be rising and the sun may be setting for Ken Powers.
The crowd obviously behind Estrada. Estrada's fired up. Oh, watch out, ref.
The lone wolf is trying to unlock his animal instincts, but the instincts of Ken Powers, that chop to the throat. And look at that, treating him like a lightweight, just as he has so many others, and picking up yet another dominant victory. A classic speed versus power to start things off here tonight. And in the end, it is Ken Powers continuing his momentum with a victory here at WrestleMania. Take nothing away from Ramon Estrada. He brought the absolute best effort he could, represented USWA proudly. Well, but clearly Ken has something to say now.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is yet another example as to why there is not a single person in the OWR locker room that can hold a candle to me. And you know, as the man who represents OWR the most, the one who's here, month in, month out, fighting his way to the top, and what do I see but a bunch of part-time champions. Now you may not remember, because clearly your memories are that of a shrimp who has already shriveled up and died in the container. But let me remind you, PJ Savage is the Ground Zero champion, and he has not shown up for over 9 months.
Fortunately, you can't deny the facts.
You are representing you. A man who doesn't show up for the term of pregnancy and can't even give birth to a halfway decent match. That's the man you are representing you. But you know, PJ, you're not the only part-timer in this company. Maybe there's a certain world champion who should be reminded of exactly who's at the top of the pecking order. But enough about that. Enough time spent in front of every single one of you worthless ignoramuses. Clearly you don't know the word means. You gotta know that's what the game is tonight. Clearly you gotta make the best decisions. Genesis already has the tag team championships. And sooner or later, you will all understand that Genesis is right.
Well, whether you like him or not, Ken Powers making more and more valid points month after month that he continues wrecking through the entire OWR locker room alongside Genesis, and they hope to soon have the royal flush of gold. Ken clearly has his eyes on more than one title, and there's more action to come as WrestleMania continues.